Now, we can't start a management class without bringing up the hog. A fascinating story. It's one of my favorites. I read it on the internet about 6 years ago. It's always stuck with me. But before we do that, in an article by Gary Hamel, he was talking about the hole in the soul of business or something like that. And in the article, he talked about there was a big survey worldwide, and it showed that 80% of the employees are not engaged at work. The employees are not engaged at work. 80%. The good news is 20% of the employees are engaged at work. So they really have their mind, focused. They're trying to do their best. They're proactive and things like that. So 80% not engaged, 20% engaged. Now, that's your 100% right there. To make it more meaningful, if there's 10,000 employees, 88,000 of them are not engaged at work. They really don't care. They're just collecting a check. They're doing the minimum. They're complying. That is a big problem. 20% heart, passion, caring, extra mile, commitment. Now, so we have that. I don't want anybody accusing me of, you can accuse me of not spelling things right. Man, I know this is under. But of the 80% that are not engaged, 20% are engaged in a way that 20% of the 80% are engaged against the company. Okay, so these are little percentages, 80%, 20%. 8,000 don't care. 2,000 do care out of 10,000. And of the 8,000 that don't care, 2,000 are actually engaged against the company. However they do that, a lot of ways. Maybe you've been to, got some girls in the class, I guess. A lot of ladies like to go shopping for shoes, right? And you go to the shoe store and they got all of these boxes of shoes in the back. And they got a few out on the display, and you walk up and you say, "Hey, I love these shoes. Do you have these in size 8? And the woman or the person goes, "Nope." And you go, "But how do you know? You haven't even looked. Look at all the boxes back." "Nope. Finished." They don't care. They want sales to be bad. So that is a big problem. What about the restaurant? The waitress comes out, or waiter, and says, "No, we don't have that. No, we don't have that. Just go." That's a big problem. They are engaged against the company. A lot of ways to do that, stealing stuff. Okay, so now we have the story of the feeding of the hog. In this scenario, I don't know if it's real or not, we had a sawmill of some sort, a lumber company. And in this case, the productivity, they measure the productivity, you make 2x4s or whatever. The productivity of the employees was very high. They were productive all day long. Absenteeism was virtually zero. People came to work, people got things done, but management was realizing that the profits kept going down. People come to work, they're productive, they do what they're supposed to, but profits are going down. They can't figure it out. So the consultants are called in. The consultants observe. They observe the company, the atmosphere, the equipment, the management style, all the things that we've talked about in those videos. And they are observing, and then they start their interviews. Management doesn't know what's going on. So they go to the employees and they say, "Hey, this place is a mess. We've been observing this place. It's dusty, it's loud, there's blades spinning everywhere. It's hard to think in here, And then you got the managers barking over you, you know, to do this and do that, and yelling at you, scolding, railing up all the time. It's just a bad management style. It's just all, why do you come to work, folks? Absenteeism is 0, and you get the, why, you know, why is absenteeism 0? And the employee says something like, if I don't come to work, my coworkers will fine me. I forget the amount. If I don't come to work, I have to pay the coworkers $20. So I get penalized if I don't come to work from my co. They said, well, why would the coworkers care if you come to work? He says, well, they fine us the $20. Well, what do they do with the $20? Well, that we put it all together, and when it adds up over the months, we have a beer and barbecue party. This makes no sense. Why would your coworkers fine you so you can have a party? It just doesn't make any sense. And the employee says something like, well, if we're not here, we're not on the team. And if we're not here, we can't feed the hog. Now the consultant's going, now what the hell is where's the hogs? If you're not here, you can't feed, what's the hog? And he says, you look back there at the back of the building. There's a chipper shredder where all the scrap lumber goes. Now, that scrap lumber goes into the chipper, and that goes into that particle board that you've probably seen your desk are made of. If you peel off the little plastic that pressed, looks like sawdust that's glued together. They don't get a lot of money for it, but at least they're using the scrap. So the employee, if they don't come to work, they can't get the scrap into. Oh, so if your coworkers, if you don't come in, then your coworkers have to clean up the scrap and put it into the hog, and you don't help them clean up, so then you have to give them $20. But we don't just put scrap into the hog. We put the finished lumber in there. If you're not at work, you aren't here to feed the hog the good lumber. Don't you like that? I mean, how much worse does it get? So, you're shredding the finished product? Yes. So, how would this work? Well, people come to work and they're productive. Maybe the forklift guy comes by and gets the load of 2x4s and then goes over here, maybe back over here. Okay, probably a checkpoint right here. Checkpoint. You got, oh, yes, you get credit. You did a lot of work. You did a pallet of lumber. And then the thing goes over here and into the shredder it goes. So, here is a classic example of people, employees, that have gone beyond being miserable at work. Now it's revenge time, it's hatred time, it's sabotage time. It doesn't just have to be with products, it can be with service. Making the customer wait longer. If you don't come to work, you can't make the customer wait. Stealing. Purposefully damaging equipment. Maybe that photocopy machine that costs, or the toner costs so much. You need one copy, just press in 100. And, oh, I only meant to print one. Now we need some more toner. So, hatred, revenge, getting back at management. Now this is what makes HR so important, and it really highlights the importance of the HR, is because it is possible to push people over the edge where they're not just unengaged, they're engaged against you. You pay them to come in to damage stuff. So, we need to be a happy place with happy employees who get attention and feel appreciated and are paid fairly. They're treated like adults, treated like humans. You don't want them coming in to feed the hog. You like that story? That's a pretty good story.